Little past 10 a.m. We're running a little late, but we are going live here in Phoenix. Going to bring you up to speed on what's going on, hopefully answer a few questions, and have a little fun, so stay tuned. What's up, everybody? It's Greg Corbett with the AZ Lifestyle Group right here in Phoenix, Arizona. If this is your first time to this channel and you're looking to find out everything you need to know about what it's like living in and or moving to the Phoenix metro area, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new video. We are helping people from all over when it comes to finding the best places and neighborhoods to live here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about moving or relocating and you need any assistance whatsoever, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email. However you want to get a hold of us, we got your back when it comes to moving to the Phoenix metro. All right, so let's go ahead and not waste any time. We're going to bring our good friend and partner, Rudy Lopez with Prime Lending. Rudy, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Greg. I'm doing great. And yourself?
Good, man. I'm doing good. It's been a good week and lots of things going on. It's been crazy as usual, but it's warmed up on us a little bit. We hit the 90s again, weather-wise, and it's mid-November. But hey, it's actually not. I can't complain that much because it's still nice weather.
Yeah, it's a dry heat, right? Like everybody says, it's a dry heat, so you're fine.
Yeah. I mean, and it's cooling down next week. Like for people like me who can't stand 90s, especially during the holiday. Like it's going to cool down next week for Thanksgiving. I think we'll have like low 70s, maybe a little overcast. Yeah. I'm stoked about that. We already have like people in the neighborhood that are putting up their holiday lights. Usually, I'm kind of like, hey, wait till a little closer to December before you do that. This year, I'm feeling a little bit more festive just because it's like we need some brightness in our day. We need things that make us smile. So I'm down for it. How are your holiday lights? Are they up yet?
Well, I think we're going to start around Thanksgiving, maybe the day after. But I've got one neighbor in particular who is in the very festive mood yeah. early on, and for the same reason, he needs some joy in his life. Just he's tired of all the negative news that's been going on. He's ready for the year to be over, and he's got the lights up already. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't blame people this year. I think people there were some people that were in March that they were like, hey, in honor of being locked down and staying home, they put their holiday lights up then. And I thought it was, I've got it, but it was a little strange. Now I'm more open to it. We need something fun. So I'm down. I think we might even put our tree up this weekend and do like we tried this last year, which was kind of fun just because now we have a little one. So it's like, it feels better. Mm-hmm. Put our tree up and do like a little Thanksgiving type of tree and then change it to the Christmas tree the weekend after.
That's awesome. Yeah. I'm just super excited that we're getting into the holiday week. I've got family coming in town from Texas and from other parts, so
nice.
I'm just looking forward to some normalcy, despite not being so normal.
despite everybody, the news basically telling us that COVID's blowing up again, and right. Nobody should hang out with their family, no more than 2 people at a table, and have a Zoom Thanksgiving, I guess maybe, I don't know, but. We're gonna have a small group at and small meaning like 6 or 7, so we'll be within guidelines. And to be fair, like I don't want to short side this. I know a lot of people are maybe dealing with stuff and we've got our older family members, and we don't want to put them at risk. So we're trying to do everything we can to be cautious and be smart about it. Like I don't want to discount what this country's going through when it comes to COVID, but man, it's so hard to mentally take all this for sure.
Yeah, well, I just going back to Thanksgiving and travel and all that good stuff. Our wonderful state of Arizona was on another top 10 list for Thanksgiving travel, which I found really cool this year. That TripAdvisor released the top 10 destinations during Thanksgiving, and Sedona was number 2, and Scottsdale is number 4. So despite all the craziness and the virus being out there, our beautiful state had two cities in the top 5 that just make it kind of cool. My wife had some friends over from Tennessee and from Texas last week, and we spent about 5 days showing them around Scottsdale, and then they went to Sedona for a day, and it was just so cool. I was so proud of our city and our state just for having so much cool stuff to do, and they actually absolutely loved it. They came in thinking that it was just going to be one massive desert and absolutely nothing to do, and they left loving Scottsdale and Arizona. So that was really cool.
It's hard not to love, especially this time of year when we finally get these like perfect temperatures. And when you do take a trip up to Sedona, especially if you haven't been up to see it before, I mean, it's like it's another world. It's like it feels like you're in a different state. Like you're not even in Arizona anymore, and it's 2 hours away, which is fantastic from the Phoenix area. So. We just got back. I know you guys have gone up to Flag several times this year. We went up again just for an overnight trip on Saturday, came back Sunday. Still snow on the ground from last weekend, which was kind of cool to see. The temperatures were like in the, started like in the low 20s for a low and got up to like, in 50 for a high. We loved it. It's nice. We're trying to think about potentially find something secondary up there. And we're going through, like a lot of the people who are watching us who are trying to figure out how you shop long distance and how you pick out the best neighborhoods and pick out a home. Like we're going through that same process on our end, and we're trying to document it for you guys to watch and kind of see how it goes. So, it's fun to do, and I'm so happy that we've got so many places within Arizona that we can go travel to.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and there's just so much more to do here. We haven't even scratched the surface. So yeah, it was fun to have visitors who have never set foot in Arizona before to just leave loving it. So yeah, we'll be expecting them to come back again soon.
Nice. We've got a hi from Chris in Brooklyn. What's up, Chris? How are you, man? Or it could be a girl. I'm not sure. It could be either one. But how are you? And thank you for the compliment. We appreciate it. We appreciate you watching. And let us know what's going on. What's going on in Brooklyn, Chris? And are you coming to visit Arizona soon? Let us know. But I would imagine Brooklyn's probably a little cold right now. I don't know. I haven't looked at the weather across the map, but I usually it's probably starting to get a little chilly. I don't know if they're having any major winter storms yet. But Chris, you can fill us in if you want.
Some of my coldest moments ever in my life have happened in New York. Oh my gosh. Like there've been a couple occasions where that wind, I feel like it just cuts through my jacket into my bones. So yeah, I don't miss that at all. Whenever I would visit New York, I just remember how cold it would get. So yeah.
And Chris, I apologize. Chris is a lady, and again, we appreciate it. And Chris says it is cold. Yes. So thank you for joining us. It's warmer here, Chris. So if you want to come and visit a little warmer weather, it's a good time to be here.
Yeah, I'd love to have you here. You're going to love it.
I'm trying to think of any crazy important topics. I forget if you had anything else you wanted to bring up, because I wanted to bring up something, we can bring this up now or later, but I know a lot of people are getting these, and I wanted to show this to Rudy, because a lot of us are getting these refis and we're seeing interest rates. So this is important, I think, for people watching on 2 counts. Number one, interest rates for people looking to buy and for people who are looking to refi as well, because a lot of people might be looking, similar to my wife and I's situation, we might be looking to refi in order to save money in order to buy a second home. So Rudy, I wanted to discuss these with you because we always see these 30-year 2.25% fixed, and kind of these mailers to kind of get you to call. What are your takes on whether these rates are accurate versus like people just kind of sending you little things to get you to ring in?
Yeah, so a lot of these mailers have teaser rates in terms of they're rates that are really low, but they usually have points or some sort of fee in order to get that rate. And then one thing to also consider whenever you see a rate, whether it's a mailer, commercial, or advertisement, is that rates change on a daily basis. Sometimes they change multiple times a day. I'm
Yeah.
very privy to the market, and it's kind of tough to envision this, but rates are sometimes like a stock where, one day the rate seems great, and then later on the day something happens, some geopolitical or economic event happens that causes rates to change, and that mailer that you got last week is no longer accurate. So
Yeah.
it's definitely something to consider if you have right now rates in the high threes or low fours. I think it's worth looking into. Sometimes refinancing is not the best option, and the reason I say that is because if you're going to move out of your home here soon, or if you think that maybe you want to buy something down the road to expand, maybe your family's growing, maybe refinancing is not the best option.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that I do with our clients is I run those different scenarios. I actually had a client that was going to refinance 2 months ago, and I went over the numbers on the refinance. They were going to save some money on a monthly basis, but
Yeah.
I also ran numbers on them selling the home and moving up to something that was more conducive to their growing family.
Yeah.
And they ended up not refinancing, and they were going to refinance at first. And they noticed that the difference in monthly payment from refinancing to selling their home, using that equity to purchase their new home that they wanted was only going to be about $150 a month. So they canceled the refinance, and now we're helping them buy a house. So
that's awesome.
So many different variables in these situations.
It's a good point. Like, a lot of people just don't think about that because they maybe don't think it's an option for them. And then when you really run the numbers, and you really do have to run the numbers because, and I'm guilty of this too. Like, you just have to like look at it case by case and look at both sides, and then really figure out that maybe you have some options that you weren't considering before.
And also, a question that I get asked quite a bit is, should I do a 30 or a 15-year? The 15-year rate is so much lower than the 30-year rate. I'm going to save a lot more money in interest in a 15 than a 30. Well, yes, the rates are lower. However, your monthly payment's going to be higher. You're forced to keep that higher monthly payment for 15 years. I've actually been able to show some clients that if they are able to do a 30 instead of a 15 and take that monthly payment difference, several hundreds of dollars, sometimes more than that, and invest it into an investment account, earning a reasonable rate of return. In 15 years, they'll actually have enough in that investment account most times to pay off the mortgage and have some money left over.
Okay.
And these are conversations that a lot of mortgage officers are not having with their clients. They're just simply taking an order and handing you what you were asking for without actually giving you options to better serve your future self. So that's something that we always take pride in doing, making sure that you're aware of all the different options to help you in the future.
Well, I want to expand on that a little bit because I had a conversation with my financial advisor yesterday talking about the potential of refi, cash out refi. And I'm not sure if a cash out refi would change your rate at all, but potentially taking that money and investing it as well, so you get the low cash or low interest rate mortgage and potentially using that money for a different investment as well. It sounds similar to what you're talking about.
It is, and one thing about equity is that equity is a very illiquid asset. So if you're sitting on a stockpile of equity and you ever want to tap into it, you have to pay me to borrow your own money. And so, a lot of times what people end up doing is they will use that equity, such as what you're referring to, and take out a cash out, or to maybe even do a home equity line of credit, invest it in something else, and actually put that equity to work and let that amount of money grow in another manner instead of just letting it sit in a home that's just unfortunately not earning you anything.
Yeah, lots of options, and it's. I think the key for people is, if you're going to go down that path, make sure you know that if you're taking cash out, you're going to put it into something that makes sense,
right?
And something that's not. I know you've seen people in the past take cash out and maybe buy some toys with it. hey, what everybody's going to be different, have a different situation for like your family. Maybe, just it brings something beneficial to your life, but from a financial point of view, maybe not be the smartest move.
Yeah, I have a client who, actually the same client that is going to now buy instead of refinance. They are going to have a little bit of money left over from the seller house when they purchase their new house, and they're actually going to take that difference in money that they're going to have left over and put it in a 529 plan and save up for their children's college. And
there you go.
Their kids, I think, are 3 years old. So I showed them what a reasonable rate of return with that amount of money is going to yield them in 15 years when their kid is ready to go to college. And they're like, yeah, why would I do this? We're going to get a lower rate on a home that we want, and we're going to save for my kids' college all in one. It's amazing. That's
awesome.
Like, it worked out perfectly. And it's not something that they expected to talk to me about because they were originally going to refinance. So it completely, their situation did a complete 180, and they couldn't be happier.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's a smart move on their part, and good news. And it's something that they will look back at that time and say, hey, that decision really benefited us hugely. So yeah, that is good news. I want to go back. Chris is saying that she hopes to retire next summer in Sun City. That's awesome, Chris. We say, happy for you that you're close to retirement. Hopefully done with work soon, can come out and enjoy your time in Arizona. And Sun City's a good spot. So can't go wrong there. And definitely let us know if you ever have any questions about it. But go ahead, Rudy, if you had something.
Well, I was just gonna say I read another article last week that it's actually, this article, it hits close to our home, and it's on baby boomers. And I didn't know this, but apparently baby boomers are now being called baby chasers, and what that means is that they are now relocating to cities and states where their grandkids are now in. So I thought it was so funny, so cool, because my wife and I have been for 2 years trying to get our parents to move here. They're a little hesitant simply because it's kind of a big move. So not just anyone picks up and leaves their state that they've lived in their whole life. But I just found it so interesting. And Phoenix was number 3 on that list, top 10 cities where these baby chasers are migrating to. So another thing to consider when you're, if you happen to have grandkids, you might be moving here someday.
Yeah, well, and it kind of brings us back to like market stuff, because we're hearing all this migration to the area. It doesn't seem to be slowing down. Typically we start to see like a little bit of a slowdown going into the holidays. I mean, there's maybe a minor slowdown compared to what we were seeing like within the past few months, but nothing crazy. We're not seeing any extra inventory. It continues to be a tight market here, and for all of us that are like, okay, what does the future look like? Everything that we're seeing right now looks to be that we're going to still continue to have more people coming here, inventory continuing to be pretty low from a historical level, which is going to keep pricing steady or moving up one way or the other. So even with the potential of what we've had with COVID this year and the negative effects that it's had, and it has had some negative effects on a lot of people, it's probably not going to be a huge detriment to the Phoenix area from what we can tell right now. So, it's something to keep in mind for those of you who are hoping that we might see a little bit of a slowdown so that you might have more opportunity going into next year.
Yeah, and as long as rates are where they are, there's going to be that demand. And, I also do a rent versus own analysis for a lot of clients and just show them the benefits of buying versus renting and how much money they're throwing away renting and how much they're gaining by buying. And it's not, not everyone is supposed to. I'm not saying that everyone should buy if you're renting, but there are some benefits that you can actually see and break down when it comes to moving from a rental to a buying. And when rates are as low as they are right now, you're just going to get that demand is not going to stop. And it's
Yeah.
not looking like anytime in 2021 that rates are going to go up. Now, unless there's some unforeseen situation that happens, the economy is still too fragile to just all of a sudden start increasing rates. And so going into next year, maybe even 22, it's not going to slow down. I mean, the prices of some of these homes here and across the country are pretty staggering how they're just going up so much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been crazy to watch, and hopefully it's been helpful for a lot of people. I know for a lot of people it starts pricing people out, and again, we're kind of in that same boat. Like when it comes to trying to get something in Flagstaff, it's getting to that point where it's like, okay, well, we were potentially trying to wait for a slowdown. Now we're like, we better try to jump on something sooner rather than later, or we'll be priced out.
Right.
It's a scary time, but that's why we're here to help guide you and try to make it so with the savings on interest rates and with doing what's right for your family, the scariness will go away and there'll be better times ahead. A couple questions from Chris. Let's see. Have you dealt with people who have retired and have working incomes but will use their IRAs? What's your thoughts on that, Rudy?
Yeah, you can use distributions from your qualified retirement account to qualify for a house. Yeah, absolutely. We can help you set that up and to navigate through that.
Okay.
We obviously need to work out a few things, but absolutely, we can do that.
Cool. Yeah, and Chris, feel free to contact Rudy at any time with that kind of question, any kind of qualification questions. Yeah. Reach out to Rudy, and I'll put this back up real quick. If you need to reach out, or either one of us can kind of guide you in the right direction. But Rudy's the pro on the qualification part, so definitely reach out anytime if you want to go over that. And then I'm trying to think of any other question. I got stuck.
Well, I was going to say, when to your point about prices and jumping on something now, I think if I don't have a crystal ball, but I think if there was one thing out of many that would taper the price increases that we're experiencing is affordability. And so, to your point, you're looking at houses that you thought maybe you wanted to buy, the prices keep going up. I think that will slow demand down, not because people don't want to, but just because they can't. And so. If they can't keep going up. Prices can't keep going up like this forever, obviously. So the moment where that paradigm shifts a little bit and people just can't afford them, they're going to have to slow down. They're not going to go down, I don't think, but they'll slow down.
Well, and again, it's kind of like what's that? You never know like what that mark is, because there's obviously there's multiple markets outside of Arizona, including California, Oregon, Washington, New York. Probably like a few cities on the East Coast, that their cost of living is way higher than what we're dealing with, and they have the same situation where it's like, okay, probably the majority of people there aren't the jobs aren't like paying for those people so you have this mass amount of rent. So it's like, what's that number look like? Because it used to be like, hey, if the job market didn't support it, then you can't have these house prices continuing going up. Well, now with everybody working remotely, and now you can pick wherever you want, that changes the dynamic quite a bit.
Yeah, and then for here locally specifically, we're getting companies that are moving here because of the tax benefits of having a corporation here. So there's that too. So it doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon, but I think at some point, obviously, like everything, it's gonna have to find its way to just kind of taper a little bit.
And Chris says thank you, and you're very welcome, Chris. We're happy to help anytime, and really dial in. Obviously, you know, if you're looking next summer, you might not feel the need to reach out right now, but you know, it might not be a bad idea to start maybe in the beginning of the year or end of the year, just to kind of put some plans in place so you have a general kind of idea, because as we all know, time goes fast. And I still can't believe we're almost at the end of this year. You know, this year, it's weird to think about. Like, I've talked to friends recently, Rudy, that I'm like, when was the last time we saw each other?
Yes.
I mean, you're just like, this
Yeah.
year has just been a strange blur, and
Bizarre.
yeah.
Bizarre.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, and when will we see each other again? Who knows?
Well, that's why, luckily we got Zoom and Skype and
Yeah.
FaceTime and all that good stuff to kind of bridge that gap until we actually see people in person.
I tell you, like I was thinking last night, because we are getting our Christmas cards ready to be sent out, or holiday cards, and we are. I'm like, you know what? I really should pick up the phone for each of these people I'm sending a Christmas card to, and say hello.
Yeah.
It's like it just feels like the right thing to do,
Right.
and it's something that we don't always take the time to do because we're all super busy, and it's like I don't think anybody gets upset by not hearing from. It's like when you pick up the phone and contact a lot of your friends and family, it's like they're all in the same boat as you are.
Right.
But I just had that thought last night. I'm like, I really need to pick up the phone and call people this year, and just have that extra. I think it'd be fun to catch up because it just feels like we've been so disconnected on a lot of ways this year.
Well, that's one silver lining, right? I think all of us, to some degree, are appreciating little things like that now more so than before. And it's now nicer to hear someone's voice and to maybe do a video call than it used to be maybe just a text, before COVID.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if there's a silver lining, and you know me, I'm always trying to find something positive, is that I know for me personally, my relationship with my family and my in-laws and everyone else has grown much closer because we just kind of see how fragile things are, and you appreciate each other a lot more, I think. So
Absolutely.
yeah, there's always a way to spin it as positive as you can, and as difficult as it is.
Well, and it's a choice.
It's a choice.
You can take everything that surrounds you on a daily basis, and you can choose to make a positive out of it or make a negative out of it. I'm not going to lie. I choose to make a negative about certain things some of the time. Sometimes it's fun. I joke around with that stuff, but I think, and I appreciate Rudy and all of his positivity. It helps me. But I like trying to look at the positive side of stuff too, and because there are so many things, and like my life has changed quite a bit, as I'm sure yours has. Once you have kids, and I'm a late bloomer on that one, but man, it changes a lot of perspectives, and it dials in really what should be the most important. It makes you crazy too. It makes you crazy, but it does when you sit back at the end of the night and the kids are sleeping peacefully. It does give you a nice little time to look at life in the right way.
Man, that's my wife and I's favorite time of the day, at nighttime when the kids are asleep, and we just kind of stare at each other and not say anything. And
I love looking at our daughter on the monitor and seeing her nice. And it's like, oh, you look really nice and peaceful right there. But don't wake up.
I
don't wake up.
Yes,
yeah.
A lot of parents across the country can relate to that comment.
Yeah,
for sure.
Have sip on a little cocktail, relax, and and then get ready for the next day.
Right.
So yeah, it's awesome. I'm trying to think. Well, shoot, dude. I guess we started a little late, but we're getting past 10:30. I want to bring in like this is kind of just fun stuff for me because we've been in such a horrible sports town for the past 10 years. I mean, I guess the Cardinals were decent for a couple years in the mid 2014, 2015. But this week has been pretty nice. Between the Cardinals having the Hail Murray, I mean that's for anybody who's not a sports fan, like totally get it. But like that's exciting. Like we haven't had anything exciting for the Cardinals in a long time. And I'm not a diehard fan, but it's just good for the city. I like the energy that is brought to the city. And then 1 day later, the Suns get Chris Paul. That seems to be good news. We just had the NBA draft last. I feel good about that stuff. Not because it has anything to do with like the market or what's truly important or anything like that, but it just feels like positive energy coming to our town, which I like.
Yeah, I have to admit, I never really I couldn't tell you before I moved here who anyone on the Cardinals was because they were just a very obscure NFL team that just kind of went under the radar. I mean, I hate saying that, but it's the
No,
truth.
I think when you moved here 2 years ago, Rudy, the Cardinals should not have even been allowed on the field.
They should not have. You're right. And now living here, you see the fan base growing and the excitement, and with good reason. They've got a good, solid team that they're putting out there, and it's just cool to watch because I went from never really focusing on the Cardinals to now they're a legit team. They're good.
They're fun. It's going to be fun tonight. They're in Seattle tonight. That should be a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
We've got some family up in the Seattle area that we'll probably maybe get in a smack contest with. We'll see. But and there's a ton of Seattle fan around town here.
Mm-hmm.
They're annoying as all get up. But
anyone who doesn't follow your team is annoying, right? That's
no. Seattle fan is like Raider fan. They take it to a level of annoyance that is like, please get away from me. But,
Raider fans are intense. You're right, Raider fans.
I think I like Raider fan better, honestly.
Yeah, they're a different breed. Boy, those guys, they are intense.
Yeah, I could have fun with this all day, but that's all right, Seattle fan. I know you're out there, but anyway, we're looking forward to tonight. Anything you want to talk about, Rudy, before we chime off? Chris, if you're still out there, you have any other questions before we bail? Anything you can think of?
No, just call us, guys. Even if it's just like I said, if you think you want to refinance or you think you want to put down a certain amount of money down on a house or whatever, we can run some different scenarios for you, and I promise you'll come out of that call much savvier buyer than before. So we love that. Yeah,
and the same thing with looking for homes as well. I mean, we're again going through the process that we're going through, looking in a different area up in Flag, which is 2 hours away, but still it's a totally different thing. Like now, I really can appreciate what people are going through, and we've been working with people forever, so we get it. But when you do it on your own, it just kind of adds that extra layer of understanding. So for those of you who are trying to figure it out, like what areas are the best fit for you and what look good, we're here to help you. We're going to continue. We're trying to put out more and more content. We're working on ways to kind of get more neighborhoods and city videos out to you guys. So, and Rudy and I will have to jump on another one as well. So we can figure out time for it.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right, brother. Well, great to have you on as always. Everybody have a great weekend. And we're probably not going to be back next Thursday. Maybe we'll jump on Wednesday. We'll see how. But if we miss you guys next week, have a very happy Thanksgiving. Remember for what you're all grateful for and thankful for, and we'll catch you after the holiday. See you guys.